Hello, everyone. My name is Peter Melton. I'm joined with Jamin Shively, and we represent radish.org. And what radish.org is daring to look humanity in the face, daring to be that mirror where humanity can see exactly the results of all that we've done here in the Industrial Revolution, all that we've done to our planet and to the other species, and where that leaves us. A real stark look at where that leaves us and what the steps forward are. Jamin, set the boundaries here a little bit with your parable about the dragon.
Absolutely. So the dragon, by analogy or metaphor, is the threat of near-term human extinction. We have predictions in as little as 2 years we'll be heading fast on the path toward extinction.
Now, wait a minute. Before you say any more words there, near-term human extinction. Make sure that soaks in, folks, that this system is spinning out of control at such a rate. The oceans are dying, the forests are dying, the ice caps are melting, records are being broken everywhere, methane is leaking. There is just major feedback loop after major feedback loop that points toward our system is unraveling already. This isn't a future thing. That quite literally, some top scientists say we've got a couple, 3 more years maybe of somewhat status quo, and then it spins crazy out of control. And literally the most dire of scientists say that in 10 years, there will be no more humans on the planet. That's the urgency we're talking about here. And a metaphor about a dragon will bring that home a little bit if you can place yourself in that kind of scene. Go ahead.
Beautiful, Peter. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please keep jumping in just like that, because see, that is collective intelligence, is the back and forth. So with the metaphor of the dragon, I want to kind of put people into 3 groups. There are people who don't believe that the dragon exists. There are those who believe the dragon exists and believe that there is nothing we can do to stop it, that we're already way beyond hope and that we're going down. And the third group says, let's go out and slay this dragon. And we don't know for sure whether we can slay it or not. And if we don't, we're going to go down fighting rather than observing or buried or deep in some bunker someplace.
Right, and there's this horde. I can just feel as you say this, and we talked about it earlier, this horde of people coming out of their village, headed toward where they hear the dragon is. And this dragon is got many heads and is very mysterious, and they don't know how to handle it, but they're going to take their best weapons. Bring your best weapon and come now. There's no time to waste. We can't stop and tell you what we think the dragon looks like or how it's going to work, that we're going to slay the dragon. We don't necessarily have a plan. We just know it's urgent, and we've got to go slay the dragon with whatever the best intelligence we have at this moment. Grab your sword and come. Or if you need to think about it for a while and grab the sword and come later, great. Or if you're just someone who doesn't want to come slay the dragon, that's cool. But if you really look at the research and you really look at what's happening on the planet and dare to look that in the eye, climate change is a dragon coming to your village now.
Very well said, Peter. And so of the folks in the third group who say, yes, let's come slay the dragon, that group itself is going to naturally kind of segment, and just jump in at any time, Peter. I really want this to go back and forth, but I can't pull you and you got to jump in. It's going to naturally sort of partition into those who say, you know what, let's all meet at the top of this mountain and pray. If everyone would just come with us. Well, a bunch of people are going to go to that top of that mountain and pray. We're a bunch of sort of techno geeks, revolutionary techno geeks who are basically saying, hey, we've architected the rudiments of a global collective intelligence, an emergent global collective intelligence that can be coaxed along, supported, and facilitated by a growing infrastructure of technology, including such things as teleological taxonomies, towards a unifying, all-encompassing aim of a whole world.
Yeah, and you can feel that building energy just as you dare to put those pieces in place. It's like we need all the brains, we need all the humanity, we need all the strength and wisdom and cleverness that humanity has to offer. And you're sitting in your house in the village and you hear the rumbling of the crowd coming toward you. It's like, what is that? Oh my God, here's a crowd of people. They're all going, what are they doing? They're all going to slay the dragon. Right. And so that's this collective intelligence says, come on, we need the best ideas that anybody's got. Please join in. Let's go. We're going to go slay this dragon. And the term collective intelligence is a way of housing that energy. But the urgency of this horde of people are getting to your part of the village and they're headed up the hill. That's what's happening right now. And without that urgency, the humans just don't seem to act very quickly. And we've watched that unfurl in the last 50 years while there have been amazing ideas and amazing revelations. I mean, this is the 50th anniversary of the Summer of Love. And so here it is 50 years later, and we're still struggling to recycle. Let's face it, we're still struggling to give women and minorities and others equal rights. We're slow to learn, and we're not going to fix this problem from the mentality that got us here. And we either need to find a way to enhance our collective wisdom, our collective consciousness, and create this shift, or it's not going to be pretty for humanity. And the time is now. And what we've been lacking is the emergency, and the emergency is lacking no more if you dare to look at the research. And we're bringing Dr. Guy McPherson, the leading scientist of near-term human extinction and abrupt, irreversible climate change. We're bringing him to the Bay Area to spark this seed of an idea, to start this mob of people who are grabbing their best sword and heading out to get the dragon.
Absolutely. No. And so as this, and we feel it building exponentially. Right. And it's partly because of, videos and articles on the topic like we're doing right now that helps to, echo the message and spread the message. Right. This is a viral spreading of the word. It's a combination of very bad news and very good news. The very bad news, of course, is near-term human extinction. The very good news is that there are those of us who are standing up and going out to slay the dragon using a vastly higher form of intelligence than anything witnessed on planet Earth, be it NASA or Google, you name it. Very intelligent organizations that leverage collective intelligence very powerfully. We're talking about something vastly more powerful than any organization ever assembled. Why? Yeah. Because we're talking about an ongoing coevolution. And it's worth talking about this for a moment, because people might think, oh, they think they've come up with some slick software or something like that, whatever, but that's not what we're saying at all. Here's what we're saying. Right now, we're building some scaffolding, right? And that scaffolding will enable a certain degree of collective intelligence to evolve atop that scaffolding. But there's only so much weight it can support. Well, the collective intelligence that configures around the scaffolding will set about creating the next version of scaffolding, made of much stronger materials, much stronger foundations, much better supported and interconnected and all that. And then a much greater collective intelligence will form around that. And so on, back, for successive iterations of the scaffolding of collective intelligence, always thinking of it as scaffolding to build the next great thing. And so you're going to have an ongoing evolution of the sophistication of the platforms and systems of collective intelligence technologically, including but not limited to the teleological taxonomy, recorded conversations, which are transcribed and indexed and hyperlinked and all that. Now, you might pause and ask the question, well, when exactly in your business plan do those features come in? Because those are really important. Of course they're important, right? But it's impossible to predict, because this is going to be an organically evolving thing. Basically, people who get it, right, after, say, watching this video and going to radish.org and checking out, all the resources there, spending a half an hour there, basically either a person gets it or they don't. And for those who get it, they're going to say, oh my goodness, I'm in. Or they're going to say, you know what, I understand what your intention is here. but there's actually a group that's doing a better job of what you're trying to do, and they're over there. The minute somebody can point me to such a group, right, that has the all-encompassing nature of a whole world, a teleological taxonomy to support that, the technological roadmap of the roadmap. Now I can tell you about the roadmap. I can't tell you the timelines yet because it's going to go very quickly. Who knows how many days or weeks? But it includes the automatic transcription of every word that's said in the conversation, including who said what, and hyperlinks to different, it'll be chunked out by topic and whatnot. I mean, beautifully organized and accessible information with syntheses, after every hour or 10 hours of conversation on a given topic. So you're going to have, and since the conversations build atop each other, we talk about growing towers of knowledge, skyscrapers of knowledge, with connective tissue between skyscrapers at different floors, right? This whole growing matrix of knowledge, which is just one representation of it, the architectures and interfaces of collective intelligence are going to be evolving. That's the scaffolding, right? And so we're talking about architecture and features that grow exponentially over time. Membership that grows exponentially over time. The confluence of those two coming together, the network effects of having more membership, and exponentially growing power of the systems and the platforms themselves. Wow, you're talking about exponentially growing collective intelligence, which will be able to create the most not the most amazing you can imagine, amazing beyond what you can imagine, because we're talking about going from unicranium intelligence, right, and basically slipping notes under the door, to hyper-connected global collective intelligence, multi-cranium intelligence. It's literally parallels when life on Earth went from unicellular to multicellular and the whole Cambrian explosion. Behold the Cambrian explosion of collective intelligence, because we're not going to stop until it's done. And
right, because there's no time to stop. There's no time left to think about this and try to figure things out. It's time to grab the sword and go. And you can't think about this from your 2000 mindset, right? Your year 2000 mindset is still just the inkling of what's possible. That we have to go beyond the 2017 mindset and dare to imagine and just charge forth, knowing, we don't know the answers to solve the challenges of climate change and the challenges of our system. But we know that some of the key elements are putting the best minds together, charging forward with urgency, using the best technology, and daring to share all the info that we can share together collectively as a species to deal with this predicament. And if you're drawn to go for this, jump on, go to radish.org. It will be constantly changing website, but jump in with us. Let's go. We're figuring it out as we go, but we don't have time to figure it out and then go. We've been doing that for 50 years, and the time is up. And that's the urgency that comes with abrupt, irreversible climate change and its fallout, which is extinction for many, many species. We're already in the 6th grade extinction, and that includes humans. Exactly,
Peter. Thank you.
So I'll let you finish up, Jamen, but basically that's the gist of what we're talking about. And if that turns you on, contact us, go to radish.org. If it doesn't, thank you anyway. Share it with somebody you think might be turned on by this information. There's a lot of people out there that have been feeling this way and just didn't have a place to connect. So we're hoping to offer that for folks too.
Absolutely. And if you have questions or doubts, or if you have ideas as to how this can be done better, bring it all. Again, we're just building some bamboo scaffolding here. Come help us and bring your creativity, bring your best ideas. Bring whole organizations, the Buckminster Fuller Institute, for example, the Rand Corporation, members of the United Nations, governments, religious groups, nonprofits. Come one, come all. This is humanity coming together to co-create an exponentially growing collective intelligence. to slay the dragon. I don't know what else we're gonna, slay the dragon with. Nuclear missiles? It's an invisible dragon. It's all encompassing. It's choking us to death, and it's gonna kill us. So we got to fight back with intelligence that's way beyond anything that anyone's ever imagined, literally, and that is exponentially growing collective intelligence, because there is no end to it. So we're gonna outgun the dragon with intelligence. Just you watch. And if you have any curiosity or any hope at all for this path, just sign up. You can always quit, and but just come join us and have a conversation with us. Try it out, and we'd love to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Peter.